All right, hi there, and today we'll be talking about AI literacy. What is AI literacy for healthcare? So, we will be basing our talk on a blog post on the clinicalaiacademy.com or clinicalai.academy on the website. And the whole idea of the Clinical AI Academy is to build AI literacy for healthcare workers, bring people from different disciplines, experts, to participate in this dialogue, regardless of their professional background and level of education. So the idea is to help people who are interested in AI in medicine, clinical AI, medical AI, know more about it. So what is AI literacy and why is it a big deal and why we are focusing on it? So let's go to this blog post on the website, AI Literacy in Healthcare, a comprehensive guide for clinicians, administrators, and medtech companies. And as you can see here, we have the question, what is AI literacy in healthcare? But before we get into the definition based on the AU AI Act, let's dissect AI literacy. So AI is artificial intelligence, and literacy, if you go and look for its meaning, it's either the ability to read and write or the competence or knowledge in a specified area. So this is the AI literacy that the meaning of AI literacy. It's, let's say here, AI literacy is essential. So competence or knowledge in AI is essential in for healthcare workers or in general when you're using AI based on the AU AI Act. So the AU AI Act, if you go to Article 4, Chapter 1, you will have like a description of what AI literacy is. Not a definition, but a description. Why is it important? And the AU AI Act, if you're not familiar with it, it is the governing document that is now obligatory for medical devices or everyone, like not just in medicine, but all the AI tools that will be deployed in AU. They need to be compliant with the AU AI Act. So it's coming to force like gradually, but in 2026 it will be fully enforced. And AI literacy part is now, since February this year, is fully enforced. So companies need to be compliant with the AU AI Act. And the AU AI Act has like hierarchical risk or risk-based approach. So medicine or medical devices or AI tools deployed in healthcare, they're considered high risk because they can impact the life of the patients, right, and their users. So they need to really follow the guidelines, and if they're not, the companies or developers will be fined heavily. And so it's very important. And the AUAI Act also works with the MDR regulatory document. That's a different story. But so what is AI literacy in healthcare? Based on the Article 4 from Chapter 1 in the AUAI Act, it says providers and deployers of AI systems shall take measures to ensure, to their best extent, a sufficient level of AI literacy of their staff and other persons dealing with operation and use of AI systems on their behalf, taking into account their technical knowledge, experience, education, and training, and the context the AI systems are to be used in, and considering the persons or groups of persons on whom the AI systems are to be used. So you have like who's responsible of like enforcing or making sure that AI literacy is sufficient level of AI literacy. And then there are the providers and deployers of AI systems. And in the AU AI Act, there are like specific definitions of what is a provider, where is a deployer, and sometimes they overlap. But like, for example, a company that developed an AI tool, then it's the provider, the deployer is the hospital. So both of them, they need to make sure that the staff, the medical doctors, nurses, and whoever is using this tool knows how to use it properly and take into account the level of education or level of knowledge and experience with these tools of that individual person. And also, what is interesting, considering the groups of persons or groups of persons to whom the AI system are to be used, in this case, the patients, right? So also, we need to educate the patients on the AI that is used and how is it used in their case, and if they want it to be used or not. So the issue is with the AU-AI Act that it's not specific for healthcare. What competencies do you need to be AI literate as a clinician? That's what we're trying to figure out in the Clinical AI Academy, to kind of come up with curriculums that will help healthcare professionals learn more about AI. So we have the course that you can visit from the Learn section here. There are 4 modules for free. You can go through it. It gives you an overview of what AI is, and you'll be well informed about what you need to know about AI in healthcare and what could go wrong, how to evaluate the tools. And just by joining us and listening to those videos, you will be learning more and more. But in general, you need to kind of understand the AI methods. So you want to be familiar with what is discriminative AI, what is generative AI, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, training, validation, internal validation, external validation, and then performance metrics like area under the curve of the receiver operator curve, or the precision curve, sensitivities, specificity, all of those metrics that you can evaluate an AI tool that you will be using, and you will at the end of the day be liable for its use on your own patients. Then you have the data governance and quality. You need to be able to evaluate the data that the model was trained on, to know that the biases that might be in those data sets, and if it also is compliant with the privacy regulations where you're working, like GDPR in Europe and HIPAA in the USA. And as I said, AI, we want it to be objective, but actually it reflects the disparities that we have in our society. So then you have this bias and fairness that is blamed on the algorithm, but usually it's not the algorithm that is by itself that is biased, but the data that it is trained on that is biased. And if you have a biased AI, the issue will be magnified, because this AI is not dealing with 1 patient, 10 patients. Like if you're a doctor, you're treating dozens of patients. But if you're a biased AI, you will be deployed as an AI. It will be deployed on scale. Millions of individuals will be screened or used to predict their health status or disease progression, etc. So if it's biased, for example, if it can deal with a group of individuals who are young or old, then it might not be able to diagnose them properly, and then you will have issues. It will be life-threatening situation. You need to know how to validate, like how the model was validated. As I said, we have on the clinical AI rounds almost weekly videos that we will be updating and discussing those issues in a practical way. So importance of clinical external validation. What does that external validation mean? How is internal validation done? How is the training properly done? If it's trained, will it be biased or not, etc. And then after it's deployed, how is it deployed? How is it integrated? Usability. How is this AI integrated? How in your clinical workflow can you use it easily? Can the patient understand its output, etc.? Also, this is very important to keep in mind. Also, it would be good to be able to assess the tools that you are going to be using. And we're trying also to address that. It's an ongoing research, but we developed a tool that I would like to show you. And that's the tool I'm talking about. So it is 15 items checklist that you can, based on guidelines and frameworks in medicine, that you can use to evaluate AI tools, and gives you a score. It's still not validated, but just it's a work in progress. But this is like starting point where 15 items in 4 domains. You have the technical foundation domain, you have the clinical validation domain, the ethical and social consideration, and operational readiness. And the score is weighted based on the importance of those domains. So from those 15 questions that address those 4 domains, then you have a weighted score that tells you, okay, this tool is good, is bad, is excellent, and what could be done to improve the tool. So you can check it out also. So that blog post goes into the details of the AU AI Act, and then the FDA that is focusing on AI literacy and gives you a couple of examples. So as a conclusion, AI literacy is becoming a fundamental as pharmacology in modern healthcare. By mastering the competencies outlined above, you as clinician or administrator in hospitals or innovators then can use AI responsibly, ethically, with the goal of improving patient outcomes and operation efficiency while safeguarding ethics and compliance. So I hope you benefited from this short video about AI literacy, and please feel free to join us at the activities that we have. This is the newsletter on Substack, and we keep updating what's going on weekly and monthly basis. So feel free to join us and be part and contribute, lead sessions, tell us about your innovations in the field, and join the discussion. Thank you so much.